Executive Summary. The recent overthrow of President Bashar al-Assad's regime in Syria marks a pivotal moment in Middle Eastern geopolitics, introducing both opportunities and challenges for the nation's future. The swift collapse of Assad's government, precipitated by a coordinated offensive from opposition forces, has led to a power vacuum with significant regional and international implications. The Islamist group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, has emerged as a dominant force, pledging a moderate governance approach. Yet concerns persist regarding their capacity to unify Syria's diverse populace and establish stability. Economically, Syria faces severe challenges, with a substantial portion of its infrastructure devastated and the majority of its population living in poverty. The security landscape remains volatile, with various factions vying for control and external actors like Israel and Turkey asserting their strategic interests. Socially, the nation is deeply fragmented, necessitating comprehensive reconciliation efforts to address sectarian divides and human rights abuses. Internationally, the fall of Assad has disrupted alliances, notably diminishing Iran's influence and altering Russia's strategic foothold in the region. To navigate this complex environment, it is imperative for the new leadership to prioritize inclusive governance, economic reconstruction, and the establishment of robust security frameworks. Engagement with international stakeholders, adherence to human rights principles, and transparent policymaking will be crucial in steering Syria towards a stable and prosperous future. Introduction. The fall of President Bashar al-Assad's regime in December 2024 has ushered Syria into a transformative and uncertain era. After enduring over a decade of civil war, economic hardship, and humanitarian crises, the nation's political landscape has undergone a seismic shift. This report aims to provide a comprehensive analysis of Syria's current geopolitical situation, examining the multifaceted challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. The scope of this analysis encompasses the geopolitical context, internal political dynamics, economic conditions, security environment, social factors, foreign relations, strategic interests, and potential risks. By delving into these areas, the report seeks to offer actionable recommendations for policymakers, international stakeholders, and entities invested in Syria's future. The primary objective is to present an informed perspective that facilitates a nuanced understanding of Syria's evolving landscape, thereby aiding in the formulation of strategies that promote stability, reconstruction, and sustainable development. Geopolitical context. Syria's strategic location in the Levant has historically rendered it a focal point of regional and international interest. Bordering Turkey to the north, Iraq to the east, Jordan to the south, and Lebanon and Israel to the west, Syria serves as a critical juncture connecting the Middle East's diverse cultural and geopolitical spheres. The nation's rich historical tapestry, encompassing ancient civilizations and religious significance, further amplifies its geopolitical importance. In recent decades, Syria's alliances with Iran and Russia have positioned it as a pivotal player in regional power dynamics, particularly concerning the balance of power with Western-aligned states and Israel. The Assad regime's fall has disrupted these long-standing alliances, creating a vacuum that regional powers such as Turkey and Saudi Arabia may seek to fill. Additionally, Syria's proximity to key energy corridors and its role in regional security frameworks underscore its enduring geopolitical significance. The current transitional period presents both challenges and opportunities for redefining Syria's role on the regional and global stage. Political analysis. The ousting of Assad's regime has left Syria in a state of political flux. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, an Islamist group with roots in al-Qaeda, has assumed a leading role in the power transition. HTS's leader, Abu Mohammed al-Golani, has pledged to establish a moderate and inclusive government, yet skepticism persists due to the group's extremist origins. The absence of a unified opposition and the presence of various factions with divergent ideologies complicate the formation of a cohesive governance structure. Moreover, the dismantling of Assad's centralized authority has led to localized power centers, each with distinct agendas and loyalties. The international community remains cautious, with concerns about the potential for extremist elements to gain influence. The success of Syria's political transition will largely depend on the ability of emerging leaders to foster inclusivity, uphold human rights, and implement democratic reforms that reflect the aspirations of Syria's diverse population. Economic assessment. Syria's economy is in a dire state, characterized by widespread devastation of infrastructure, rampant unemployment, and a humanitarian crisis affecting millions. According to the World Bank, more than 90% of the population lives below the poverty line, with 12.9 million people experiencing food insecurity. The protracted conflict has obliterated key economic sectors, including oil production, manufacturing, and agriculture. Additionally, international sanctions and the collapse of institutions have further crippled economic activity. The informal economy, notably the illicit Captagon trade, has flourished, potentially becoming the most valuable sector of the economy. Reconstruction efforts are estimated to require hundreds of billions of dollars, necessitating substantial international aid and investment. The establishment of a stable and transparent governance framework will be essential to attract foreign assistance and revitalize the economy. Security environment. The security landscape in post-Assad Syria is highly volatile. The power vacuum has led to the proliferation of armed groups vying for control, raising concerns about potential clashes and lawlessness. Israel has conducted military operations in southern Syria, seizing strategic positions to counter perceived threats from Hezbollah and other hostile entities. Turkey has also expanded its military presence, targeting Kurdish forces and seeking to influence the post-Assad order. The United States maintains a cautious stance, focusing on counterterrorism efforts and the protection of its allies in the region. The disarmament of militias, the establishment of a unified national army, and the implementation of effective law enforcement are critical to restoring security and preventing the resurgence of extremist groups. Social dynamics. Syria's social fabric has been profoundly affected by years of conflict, displacement, and authoritarian rule. The fall of the Assad regime has elicited a spectrum of emotions among the populace, ranging from elation to apprehension. In Damascus, citizens have taken to the streets in celebration, expressing hope for a more inclusive and democratic future. However, the emergence of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, as a dominant force in the new political landscape has generated concerns, particularly among minority groups such as Christians. Despite assurances from HTS leaders about protecting religious freedoms, skepticism persists due to the group's Islamist roots and past associations. The Christian community, significantly diminished in number, remains cautious, balancing hope for national rebirth with fears of potential discrimination under the new regime. Additionally, the role of women in post-Assad Syria is at a critical juncture. The transition presents an opportunity to advance gender equality and women's rights, yet the prevailing uncertainty and the ideological leanings of the new leadership pose challenges to realizing these aspirations. Overall, while the end of Assad's rule has opened avenues for social progress, the path forward is fraught with complexities that require careful navigation to ensure inclusivity and respect for human rights. Foreign relations. The overthrow of the Assad regime has precipitated a significant realignment of Syria's foreign relations. Historically, Assad's Syria maintained close ties with Iran and Russia, alliances that were instrumental during the civil war. However, the regime's collapse has disrupted these relationships, leading to a diminished Iranian influence in the region and compelling Russia to reassess its strategic position. Conversely, countries like Turkey and Qatar have moved swiftly to establish diplomatic relations with the new Syrian leadership. Turkey reopened its embassy in Damascus, signaling a readiness to support Syria's reconstruction and political transition. Similarly, Qatar has re-established diplomatic ties, indicating a shift in regional dynamics. The United States and members of the Arab League have engaged in discussions to facilitate a smooth transition in Syria, emphasizing the importance of a locally led political process. However, the international community remains cautious, particularly concerning the Islamist nature of HTS and its implications for Syria's future governance. The evolving geopolitical landscape necessitates a balanced approach, ensuring that Syria's reintegration into the international fold promotes stability and respects the aspirations of its people. Strategic interests and objectives. In the wake of Assad's downfall, various regional and international actors are recalibrating their strategic interests in Syria. For Iran, the loss of a key ally represents a significant setback, disrupting its regional strategy and diminishing its influence in the Levant. Russia, having been a staunch supporter of Assad, faces challenges in maintaining its foothold and safeguarding its military assets in the region. Turkey perceives the transition as an opportunity to expand its influence, particularly concerning its interests in curbing Kurdish autonomy and enhancing its role in Syria's reconstruction. Western nations, including the United States, view the regime change as a chance to promote democratic governance and stability, albeit with caution regarding the Islamist orientation of HTS. Internally, HTS aims to consolidate power, striving to gain legitimacy and international recognition while balancing its ideological foundations with the practicalities of governance. The interplay of these objectives creates a complex matrix of interests that will shape Syria's future trajectory. Risk assessment. The post-Assad era in Syria is fraught with potential risks that could impede the nation's path to stability. The most immediate concern is the possibility of internal conflict among the myriad factions vying for power, which could lead to a protracted period of instability and violence. The dominance of HTS raises apprehensions about the potential imposition of Islamist policies that may not align with the diverse fabric of Syrian society, potentially marginalizing minority groups and exacerbating sectarian tensions. Economic challenges are formidable, with the need for extensive reconstruction amidst a backdrop of depleted resources and a devastated infrastructure. The cessation of Iranian oil supplies has already led to the shutdown of Syria's largest refinery, exacerbating fuel shortages and hindering economic recovery efforts. Additionally, the geopolitical vacuum left by Assad's departure may invite external interventions, further complicating the security environment. The convergence of these factors necessitates vigilant monitoring and proactive measures to mitigate risks and foster a conducive environment for Syria's recovery. Recommendations. To navigate the complexities of the post-Assad landscape, a multifaceted approach is essential. Firstly, the establishment of an inclusive transitional government that represents Syria's diverse population is crucial to foster national unity and prevent sectarian strife. Engaging in dialogue with all stakeholders, including minority groups and civil society organizations, will be vital in this process. Secondly, prioritizing economic reconstruction through international partnerships can facilitate the rebuilding of infrastructure and the revitalization of key industries. Securing alternative energy sources and lifting sanctions will be pivotal steps in this regard. Thirdly, implementing robust security measures to disarm militias and integrate them into a unified national defense structure can help restore order and prevent the emergence of extremist elements. Additionally, upholding human rights and ensuring the rule of law will be fundamental in gaining the trust of the populace and the international community. Finally, pursuing a balanced foreign policy that seeks constructive engagement with regional and global powers can aid in stabilizing Syria's position within the international arena. Conclusion. Syria stands at a critical juncture following the fall of the Assad regime. The nation's future hinges on its ability to navigate the intricate web of internal dynamics and external pressures. By embracing inclusive governance, prioritizing economic recovery, ensuring security, and engaging constructively with the international community, Syria can aspire to overcome the challenges of this transitional period and lay the foundation for a stable and prosperous future.